Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. Before we get started with any missions, I want to talk to everybody in this room because I like what they say before these missions start. Hee hee, it appears my conclusions were, once again, flawless. Nothing Vexen ever does is flawless, so we'll see if that's true over the course of this game. ReMIX, on the other hand, says, why Larxene gotta be such a witch all the time? I love that because that's an example of the witch with a capital B TV trope, and speaking of Larxene, she says, what do you want? I am busy, go hit your head against a glass or something. I think ReMIX is exactly right. Nobody likes Larxene, and that is proof right there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our mission with Vexen. Now listen carefully. Your mission today is to perform reconnaissance in this area. Reconna what? What about finding Heartless and collecting hearts? Oh, there's far more to the organization than that, boy. Our work wouldn't go half as smoothly if we didn't gather the needed intelligence beforehand. Fortunately, you are in good hands. I will be by your side today to help stimulate that insensate mind of yours. First, take a look around the immediate area and report anything unusual you find. And don't go wandering too far until you've carefully examined the clues closest to hand. Alright, so basically what Vexen is talking about are recon missions, which basically you have to approach recon points and press A. Unfortunately, kind of like Kingdom Hearts 1, we have to have all the enemies cleared out before we can examine them. And when I'm saying like Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm referring to treasure chests. But basically what these are glorified text dialogue missions, pretty much. Because if you examine these, for example, you'll get a little bit of dialogue here with Roxas asking Vexen what this is and what is being sold here and all that kinds of stuff. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to handle this. There are 11 recon points that you have to find just in Twilight Town. So I'm not sure, I don't really feel like going through all of the dialogue necessarily for all of the recon points. I will, of course, examine all the recon points and leave the text dialogue on the screen so you guys can read it if you want. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle it. Maybe I'll try, talking over a little bit as I'm doing right now. And maybe for the next set of recon points, I can go ahead and do the dialogue, and you guys can tell me what you like better, because this right here is the final recon point for the first part of the mission. After this, we gotta find, I think, 5 more and then 2 more for that total of 11 that I was talking about before. So just let me know what you guys think. And of course, I forgot about this part. You get questions that you have to answer. There are not any correct answers. Like, this could be the center of town, might as well go and pick that. There are no correct answers for these, and the only thing that changes depending on what you pick is the response Vexen will give you. Roxas, you are looking but not seeing. Here's what I see. This whole town was built along a mountain. That's why the roads slope. Houses have been built along the terrace. And at the top is a station. The trains there are the town's primary system of transit. Up there, see that clock tower? That's the station building. Based on its location, we know the tracks are probably elevated. And this must be downtown. All these shops in one place. Now, what about this path you pointed out? Trams must run here. See, look closer, there are marks. You figured all that out just now? But that's just it. I only stated what I saw. There was no figuring involved. That's the next step, analyzing the data you find. The clothing and jewelry shops tell us how these people live. This whole town is a blueprint of their lives. Distressing. Very distressing. Your mind wasn't made for this, was it? Well, you're not off the hook yet, boy. If I let you quit with these results, I'll be the laughingstock of the castle. Follow this path and investigate the remainder of the area. And stay on the path, if you please. Everything you need to know about this plaza lies along it, provided you are capable of connecting the dots. Now, Vexen is really climbing up there on my list of the characters I don't like. I never really liked Vexen that much anyway, but I didn't mind them too much. Before this, I really didn't like Larxene. Vexen is getting up there on the level of Larxene, but of course we have to take out these Heartless here so we can examine this gate over here. An underground tunnel system. It's shuttered. Note the number over the door. That's this gate's designation. It says number 4. Precisely, 4, not 1, which means there are multiple gates. Such insightful commentary there by Vexen. You know, for how much he talks about how much smarter he is than everybody else, I don't really buy it. All he's really doing is pointing out the obvious, but over here, we have another point that we have to examine. It's locked. You don't have to open every door we pass, you know. Try to remember that we run a covert operation. The town may be quiet, but it's not empty. If you allow yourself to be seen, you'll become the target of investigation. You know, I'll give it to Vexen. That was a fair piece of advice. Arches, staircases, seems like an easy town to get lost in. Easy to get lost? Your job is to be mentally mapping this place. Think of this as a landmark. Consider it a clue. You know, I'd be a little bit more receptive to what Vexen's telling us if we had already gone on like 4 or 5 missions in Twilight Town, so it's not like we didn't know that staircase was already there, but let's go ahead and examine this. There's a big hole in the wall. I can see some woods on the other side. We're investigating the town now. Did they not teach you about these barricades? Yeah, they did. You know, I'm not sure why we can't go there. Of course, if you've played Kingdom Hearts 2, you will know that there is like a forest sort of on the other side of that, or woods as Roxas put it, and on the other side of that, there's the mansion. I'm not sure why that's not considered part of the town, because it totally is. But let's go ahead and examine this other little gate over here. The entrance is shuttered. It looks like the road leads right into this building. Then you should have already pieced together what the entrance is for. We've been through the whole area. Alright then, what have you learned? Well, let's see. The town has a lot of overpasses and underpasses, and the tram seems to circle the plaza. Oh, and there was that entrance that looked like it led underground, but it was shuttered. Anything else? Huh? Oh, never mind. Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself. You're showing some improvement, at least, even if your natural talents do fall woefully short of my own. You're done, boy. Go ahead and RTC. I could have figured it out if I'd had more time. Oh, is that so? Then take all the time you like. But don't hold yourself up to my standards. Little steps for little minds. You know, let's go ahead. We're not gonna RTC right now. We've got to show Vexen who's boss, or I guess technically he's our boss. What is up with Vexen, by the way? He's doing like the shimmy back there. But anyway, there are a couple more little examine points that we gotta find. Of course, as you can see down there, there are, but we're not full. Like the mission meter or mission bar is not full. We have to examine, I believe, 2 more points. And might as well go ahead and use some fire because we, of course, need to use those before the mission's over. But over here, there is an examine point, of course. Roxas apparently is able to figure out that this is the road for the tram, and therefore this must be the tram yard. So I guess maybe, or hopefully anyway, yeah, I was gonna say, Vex, a modicum of intelligence, he's starting to realize maybe that we're not as stupid as he thinks we are, even though, you know, the thing is, I'm not sure if Vexen's technically right that we're kind of stupid or not, because Roxas is very young at this point. He doesn't have much experience, but we haven't really had a chance to prove ourselves, and Vexen is not letting us do that, really, and that's why he's kind of up there with Larxene for me. Anyway, we have one more examine point. Might as well go ahead and climb up on this building right here. We need to go find a treasure chest. As you can see down there, we have 0 out of 1 treasure chests, and there is a treasure chest over here on this building. You know, I'm just realizing we probably could have just climbed up that staircase right there and gotten this instead of going all the way around and climbed up that staircase that we had to examine before. But anyway, there is one more examine point that we have to find, and it just so happens to be over here in this little alcove area. Might as well go ahead and take out these possessors real quick. I will see you guys in just a second. You know, that didn't quite take as long as I thought it was going to, but anyway, let's go ahead and examine this point. This spot's out of the way and surrounded by buildings. But why would they leave the space open? They must have a reason. It's kept clean, which means what? People pass through here a lot. Precisely, finally, a glimmer of insight. Not bad. You're finally starting to see the bigger picture. But while I applaud your effort, you need to be able to see these things at first glance. Oh, right. Your goal should be to gather the maximum amount of data in the minimum amount of time. Spend too much time dallying and you risk being seen. Sometimes the locals will be wary. You need to be warier. I understand. Today's mission was just an exercise. I am satisfied. Let's return. Well, I guess I need to take back pretty much everything I just said, because Vexen is finally starting to show a little bit of respect, if you can even call it respect. Respect isn't even really the right term for what I'm looking for. The right word's not coming to mind. By the way, where I'm even going, because the RTC point, or the Dark Corridor, is all the way over here and not over there wherever I was running. Anyway, let's go ahead and examine this and RTC. That concludes today's mission. Any questions or concerns? How often do I have to do this? Whenever the organization needs to know more about a world, naturally. Every world is unique with its own terrain, values, heartless population. Any number of variables that can be turned to our advantage in the missions ahead. Wait, every world? You mean there's more than one? Yes, boy, you didn't think you'd be mulling about here forever, did you? You will visit many worlds for many reasons, but our ultimate goal remains the same. Kingdom Hearts. That's right. Now come along. Yeah, fortunately we don't actually have to do reconnaissance missions all that often, but we did get a dodge roll panel here, so I'll be sure to equip that before we start the next mission.
Back and forth, to and from the same places every day. Sometimes we go to other places on real missions, but we can't cross the walls that divide the worlds. That's why we create our own paths in the darkness. Or so they say.
Roxas, I've decided to pair you with Lexius for your mission today. Come see me when you're ready. Now I see Lexi's looking at us here from across the room, so let's go ahead and see what he has to say. I trust you're ready. Yeah, I guess we'll be ready, but first we need to equip that dodge roll panel. We don't actually have to equip this, but I do like to equip as many abilities as possible, because there's really not any reason not to equip them, but that's really all we need to do to get ready here for this mission. So let's go ahead and get this mission underway. So, do you know what a limit break is? No. It is the most powerful move at your disposal, one that only works when you are on your last legs. A Heartless. Time for some practical application. Huh? Ow! What's that for? Ugh! There, now you're on your last legs. Let's see you use your limit break and defeat that Heartless. Now, limit breaks are my favorite part of the combat in this game, I think. All you have to do is hold down A if you're in the limit zone area, and until that white bar hits the other side of the other bar, or HP bar, you'll do this. And completely destroy pretty much any enemy you're fighting, so that's why it's one of my favorite parts of the combat. Well fought. Yeah? Organization members are often asked to conduct solo missions. The only person you can count on out here is yourself. So I've noticed. You and that Keyblade are invaluable to the organization. With your job, however, comes risk. Each mission will pit you against more and more Heartless. And I have to face them if we're gonna complete Kingdom Hearts, right? Correct. So what happens when Kingdom Hearts is finished? What good does that do us? We will unite with it. You and I will gain hearts of our own. I don't understand. When the time comes, you will. In the meantime, there are deeds to be done, and only you can do them. So you need me? Yes. Are they good deeds? Good for the organization. Right. We should return. Now that was a very straightforward mission. We don't have anything left to do here except RTC. And of course we get our mission review here, and we're gonna get the skill gear, which I need to equip because that is a new Keyblade.
There are nice guys and not so nice guys in the organization. But everyone's working together to complete Kingdom Hearts. There's lots I don't know, but I do know I have to keep fighting the darkness, so I can be whole.
Hey, Roxas! It's you and me again today. Okay. Checking with Sykes when, well, you know the drill. I don't know what they've cooked up for us, but let's get it done with style, huh? Right. Oh, by the way, Roxas, today will be your first really real mission. That means you should definitely prep your weapon beforehand. Oh, and if you want to practice what you've learned so far, we've got the Hollow missions all set up for you. Hollow missions? Yep, basically they're a way to re-experience missions you've already been assigned. Now, Hollow missions are a concept that I'm not going to get too into detail right now, but as Axel said, they're a way we can replay missions. Now, we also have to learn how to equip a weapon, but I'm not going to do that right now. It's not really something that is too hard or too involved. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm going to go ahead and end this episode right here. In the next episode, we're finally going to get to do our first really real mission. So I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2, and I hope to see you guys back for the next episode.